Let me start by wishing everybody a Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us here today. Uh, Hope you got a good entry into 2023. But let's start by reminding ourselves about the overall vision of Concordium, which is to be an industrial scale, compliant ready blockchain based on deep cryptographic science and real understanding of what business out there needs. Now, if I look back, I was a fairly early adopter of this space. I began to interest myself in Bitcoin and the other early generations from about 2012, and I was quite an early ambassador for this space. I liked a lot of the ideas of the early generations. I saw a potential, but I also had an increasing skepticism after the first few years. I think it was quite clear there's a very immature understanding of business. There's a whole aspect of anonymity. There's a lack of cryptographic solidity, a lack of tech quality out there, a lack of scalability. So a whole range of issues that were normal in the early stages of an industry. My vision when I thought of Concordium originally was that the way the market was at the time, we're talking 16, 17, it will not gain mainstream adoption until these issues have been solved. And there's no question in my mind, and wasn't at the time, that regulation would be a factor here like everywhere else. The vision of decentralization is great, but the idea of not being connected to society at all is at best fairly naive. So we started Concordium to provide a solution to these issues: world-class science, world-class tech, and some real business experience of what people out there might be requiring to actually build real projects. I think this vision has proved more or less entirely correct. We have to admit that today there's still a lack of serious adoption of blockchain. We're beginning to see a lot of regulatory influence, a lot of attacks. There's been many technical failures, and unfortunately also exploitation and fraud by bad actors. And we saw quite a lot of that in 2022. But you could ask, has crypto not been successful? Yes, to some extent. It has attracted very speculative investments. Sometimes markets do this, and I've seen it many times with 35 years of background in the TradFi industry and 10 years in this one. People have been eager to trade options. They were eager to trade early internet stocks. They were eager to trade very speculative products, green stocks in recent years. But these things always come to an end if utility and real world value doesn't follow the initial hype. And I think that what we're seeing now is that this end is coming to crypto. I think this is a dot-com crash like we had it in 2001 for internet stocks. I think this is the equivalent in crypto. And in those kind of environments, of which I've seen more than I like to remember over decades, all projects are seen as one. You know, they're seen as one umbrella. As an example, during the dot-com crash, Amazon dropped 95% from the highs and still worked out pretty good afterwards. But what happens in a sell-off, in a bear market, doesn't actually much reflect individual projects' quality. So the question is, what comes next after this washout in the industry? Well, I think a number of hot air projects will not recover because they were built for the hype and exotic use cases of little substance that often come in early in such industries. They're not built for transforming the world economy. And it's not just waiting around for another bull market and everything will go up. I think a lot of projects will have a terminal event here. But quality projects that build real value and increase security, efficiency, and transparency, and manages to get this message out to real businesses, they will succeed and they will actually benefit from such a washout. Just as real internet success stories showed through after the dot-com crash rather than before. So we should not make any mistake about that we're in a new world here. It's quite clear that hype and traditional crypto marketing has little or no impact at the moment. This kind of stuff only works in bull markets, and there are many examples of this out there right now. The real focus now, certainly for Concordium, should be on getting real use cases on board, industrial scale, transformative use cases that will add transparency and provenance, use cases that will improve data security and structure, use cases that will expand financial markets and inclusion in these markets by making new assets available to much broader public. And of course, also the fun stuff that often drives early adoption. So this is where we are now. The focus should be on really getting people to use blockchain rather than hype marketing, because it won't work in these kind of market environments. And there will be a tipping point, and I don't think it's that far away, when businesses fully appreciate that this is not just speculation, but real empowerment to the processes and services that they offer to their clients. And that's where Concordium needs to be there, with a strong technology built on the best science and respect for the needs and the obligations that business has to meet in order to comply with society's requirements, both the legal and the laws, but also those that their customers and partners increasingly have. They have increasing expectations to the way that you do business and the transparency with which you do it. So that's our vision for this project. And I think actually, while things may look grim from a general crypto point of view, I think this is the time where the space is coming of age. And our mission and vision now is to deliver those components that can support real business. And in my view, once the current fallout settles, blockchain will really begin to transform the world economy. And it's important that we're around there with the right solutions to play our role in this future economy that I have very much confidence in. I think blockchain is a transformative technology. Haven't seen anything with the same potential since the internet, really. And we are part of it. We've done all the right things along the way. And we have what this future economy will be requiring at Concordium. So thank you very much, Ralph. I'll pass the word back to you.